everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here with us today because we are going to dive into a profound yet remarkably simple truth. It's one of those things we all kind of know deep down in our bones, right? But for some reason, we almost all struggle to actually accept it in our daily lives. And that truth is just this: everything changes. Today, we're going to explore this concept through an ancient, beautifully poignant Buddhist story. Everything changes. So why do we struggle to accept it? I want you to just let the weight of that question settle in your mind for a second. We know the seasons change. We know time passes. Yet when it comes to the things we personally hold dear, we resist this reality with literally everything we have. To understand exactly why we do this, and more importantly, how we can stop driving ourselves crazy over it, we need to look at a story. Section 1. The precious clay bowl. Let's set the scene. Long ago, there was this young monk who had a simple, slightly cracked clay bowl, and he just loved it unconditionally. Every single morning, like clockwork, the young monk would carefully wash and polish this precious bowl. It was just a simple object given to him by his teacher many years before, but to him it was absolutely beautiful. Well, one day the Buddha noticed him caring for it so meticulously. He walked right over and delivered a rather ominous warning. He said, "One day, it will break." The monk got quiet. He replied, "I know, master." But secretly, he hoped that day would never, ever arrive. Moving on to Section 2, the inevitable break. Because, as you might guess, that attachment soon turns to fear. Think about how this progresses over time. As the years go on, his attachment to this bowl grows deeper and deeper, and then fear sets in. It morphed into something else entirely. He started getting incredibly nervous whenever anyone even came near it. If another monk simply walked past the table, his heart would start racing, absolutely terrified it might fall. What started as a beautiful gift that brought him joy had literally become a daily source of intense stress. And then, the fateful afternoon arrives. A really strong gust of wind sweeps through the halls of the monastery. Another monk, completely by accident, bumps the wooden table where the beloved clay bowl is sitting. Gravity takes over. The bowl falls. Crack. The bowl shatters into several pieces on the hard floor. The young monk totally freezes. His heart instantly fills with this overwhelming, heavy rush of sadness and anger. He just stares down at the broken pieces of his prized possession and whispers, "Why did this happen?" Which brings us to Section 3, the law of impermanence. This is where the Buddha offers a masterclass in perspective. Hearing the loud crash, the Buddha quietly walks over, sits down right beside the grieving, frozen monk, and asks, "Was the bowl broken only today?" The monk looks incredibly confused. He says, "Yes, master." But the Buddha gently shakes his head. "No," he says. "It was already breaking from the exact moment it was created." It is a total mind-bender of a teaching, right? But it's so powerful. The break wasn't just some random, sudden accident. It was the inevitable destination of the bowl from its very inception. Okay, let's really dive into this. The Buddha was teaching the monk about Anicca, or impermanence. That's the undeniable truth that everything that comes together will eventually separate. He explained with this beautiful, almost poetic rhythm that everything born will eventually change, and everything we possess will eventually be lost. And the monk, looking down at the shattered pieces, finally began to listen, not with his grief, but with his understanding. The Buddha then gently picked up just one single piece of the shattered bowl and told the monk, "You loved this bowl. That is not the problem. The suffering came because you wanted something temporary to remain permanent." Boom! Suddenly, the monk becomes completely silent. He realizes the lesson was never actually about a piece of clay. It was 100% about his own stubborn attachment. The Buddha really laid out the stark difference here between enjoying temporary things and demanding permanence. It's a huge distinction. You can totally enjoy a beautiful flower, but you shouldn't demand that it never wither. You can love a person deeply, but don't pretend that separation won't eventually come. You can appreciate today, but you can't demand that tomorrow be exactly the same. When the monk heard this, he took a slow breath in and finally smiled. He could actually look at the broken bowl without any anger at all. All right, Section 4, applying Vipassanā today. Let's talk about how we actually observe this change in ourselves. The story of the monk is great, but how do we practice this ancient wisdom right now, in the modern world, so we aren't terrified of our own clay bowls breaking? Well, Vipassanā meditation teaches us to observe change directly. Check out this flow. Step 1, a sensation appears, then it disappears. Step 2, a thought appears, then disappears. Step 3, a feeling appears, then disappears. By practicing this step-by-step observation, we actively train our brains to stop demanding permanence from a world that is literally built on impermanence. And when you do that, the mind just instantly becomes lighter. So let's turn the lens entirely on you for a moment. Think about your own life right now. What are you most afraid of losing? What is your personal clay bowl? Are we talking about a relationship, your money and financial security, maybe your youth, your health, or your career success? Look, we all have these attachments, but the really profound takeaway here is that our actual suffering doesn't come from losing these things. It comes from our stubborn baseline belief that they were somehow supposed to stay forever in the first place. Ultimately, the story of the broken bowl gives us this absolutely beautiful piece of wisdom. Do not love less because things are temporary. Love with awareness because they are temporary. That is a real game changer. The fact that everything changes doesn't mean we should just detach completely and be cold to the world. Far from it. It means that because everything changes, every single fleeting moment you have is incredibly, unimaginably precious. I want to leave you with a lingering question to carry with you today. How will you accept change without fear and appreciate what you have without clinging? Look around you right now. The things and the people you love are here today. Appreciate them fully, love them deeply, but remember the lesson of the broken bowl. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and may you find true peace in the undeniable truth of impermanence. Catch you next time.